soul insurance on the Bardo road.
Welcome, everyone, to today's breakdown. To be completely honest, what we're diving into today is going to absolutely blow your mind. We are going to unpack a priceless piece of content shared by the Buddha Activity Association of Australia. It is a brilliant, deeply profound dialogue between the master and his disciple. Personally, I absolutely love it. I look at it as a highly structured, cosmic level masterclass. This isn't just abstract theory, it is literally the ultimate field guide to how our mental life, and even the afterlife, actually operates. If you've ever felt like Buddhism reads like ancient hieroglyphics, or if you've always wondered what exactly happens to us after we take our last breath, then you cannot afford to miss today's episode. Alright, let us take a quick glance at our syllabus for today. The core foundation of finding your true mind. The Buddhist system is just like math. Our new homeroom teacher. Understanding the Bardo, the intermediate state. Stop chasing the wildflowers by the roadside. Ready, let us jump right in. Part E, the core foundation of finding your true mind. Faced with the vast, boundless ocean of Buddhist teachings, do you ever feel overwhelmed and think, oh my goodness, there are so many scriptures. Where on earth do I even begin? In the dialogue, the disciple had the exact same frustration. He mentioned that when he read the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch, it kept talking about mind, nature, and prajna, leaving him completely bewildered. Don't worry, this kind of confusion is totally normal. The master immediately points out the ultimate key here: awakening to the mind and seeing into true nature. You must first clearly understand what that inherent nature capable of perceiving actually is. This is the absolute, rock-bottom foundation of Chinese Zen Buddhism. Think about it: if you don't even know what your true mind is, and you don't understand the mechanics of mind nature, how could you possibly comprehend a scripture like the Platform Sutra, which focuses on meditative concentration? You haven't even grasped the baseline of the mind yet. This learning process is strictly cumulative. There are absolutely no shortcuts. The master lays out a very rigorous learning ladder. You can't just dive headfirst into trying to decode the Heart Sutra. Why? Because the Heart Sutra is actually a highly condensed distillation of the massive Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra. It omits all the granular details. The master emphasizes that you must first thoroughly master the Surangama Sutra, because that is the only scripture that explains the wondrous bright true mind with absolute clarity. Once you understand the Surangama Sutra, you move on to the full Prajna Sutra with all its details. Only when you reach that step can you truly unlock the core wisdom of the Heart Sutra. It is a strictly step-by-step journey. Part R, the Buddhist system is just like math. To illustrate why you cannot skip grades, the master uses an everyday analogy that everyone can instantly grab. Learning Buddhism is exactly like learning mathematics. It requires a systematic approach. Think about it: if you can barely count the basic numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how could you possibly jump straight into addition, subtraction, multiplication, or even calculus? Right, this perfectly mirrors the logic of studying Buddhism. Without a solid foundation, no matter how spectacular the advanced teachings sound, they will just be empty words to you. Take a look at this cosmic syllabus mapped out by the master. The logic is incredibly clean. Whichever spiritual realm dharma how do you want to navigate, you have to study its specific textbook. Want to know where all Buddhas initially enter the path? Read the Shurangama Sutra. Want to cultivate the path of an arhat? You study the Four Noble Truths: suffering, cause, cessation, path. Want to be reborn as a heavenly being? Practice the 10 virtuous karmas. And what about those who commit negative karma and end up in the Avicii hell? They must dutifully study the Shittagarbha Sutra. This is entirely customized education based on an individual's destination. Part San, our new homeroom teacher. Now, here is a massive plot twist in our spiritual classroom. Right when the disciple shares that he recites the Shittagarbha Sutra every single day, the master drops a bombshell: the management team of our spiritual classroom has quietly changed. The master uses a very vivid analogy of a homeroom teacher. When the historical Buddha was alive in the world, he was our original teacher, our original homeroom teacher. But now, the Buddha has entered nirvana. So, who is left to manage all of us unruly, stubborn sentient beings? The answer is Shittagarbha Bodhisattva. This is just like a corporate handover in a company. The original teacher personally handed the management rights of this world over to Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva. The ultimate purpose: to prevent sentient beings from falling into the miserable lower realms. So, right now, Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva is the chief operating officer of our world. Part C: Understanding the Bardo, the intermediate state. Hearing this might spark a massive question mark in your mind, since our original teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, handed over the classroom and entered nirvana. This pulls our analysis straight from textbook theory right into the raw reality that none of us can escape the exact moment after we die. The answer lies in the Bardo. This refers to the intermediate transitional phase after we leave this physical body but before our next reincarnation. This is where the real-time, high-stakes test begins. Get ready for another reality check. The disciple naively assumed that when he reaches the Bardo, he will still see Shakyamuni Buddha looking just like he did on earth with the glorious Sanshirami, jewel marks and 80分钟 characteristics. But the master says absolutely not. That physical form belongs exclusively to the manifestation Buddha in the human realm. In the Bardo state, the original teacher does not go by Shakyamuni Buddha, he is called Myoshu Tathagata, or the Myoshu Buddha. While they are the same essence, the appearance and the name he manifests are completely different. Think about it: if you can't even call out his name in the Bardo, how could you possibly recognize him? The master paints a very concrete picture of what happens after we pass away. If someone has accumulated severe, heavy negative karma, there is no transition phase at all, they plunge instantly into hell. Conversely, if someone's positive karma is exceptionally powerful, they instantly ascend to the heavens or a pure land. But let's be real, most of us are a messy mix of both good and bad karma. This means we will float in the Bardo state for a brief window of 7 to 49 days. In those fleeting days, you will encounter a sea of sentient beings, and you will also encounter many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. During this time, your power of focus becomes the sole variable deciding your destiny. Part 2: Dante chased the wildflowers by the roadside. This part of the dialogue genuinely makes you smile. Yet it is incredibly sobering. The disciple naively makes a wish: I just hope my karma is purified in this lifetime. And when the time comes, Master, you will come deliver me, and I'll just follow you. The master immediately chuckles and roasts him. You, since when are you that obedient? Then he delivers this absolute gem of a line: you wouldn't even walk 2 steps before seeing a pretty flower by the roadside and running after it. Then you walk another 2 steps, think the grass looks nice, and wander off to eat the grass. Isn't that an incredibly vivid picture? But that is exactly how we humans are. We are far too easily distracted by worldly desires, past karmic habits, and the illusions along the way. In the Bardo, however, this kind of distraction is fatal. This is precisely what the ancients and masters meant by the phrase karmic defilements are easily embraced. But the path to enlightenment is hard to complete. We actively entangle ourselves in worldly attachments so easily, while walking the path of cultivation feels as steep as climbing to heaven. The master stresses that it doesn't matter how beautifully you talk. In Buddhism, your mind is the root, not your mouth. If you haven't cultivated genuine meditative stability and focus in your daily life, then the moment you hit the Bardo, you will blindly chase whichever karmic habits you are used to, pulling you right back into the vortex of samsara. So, what on earth should we do? Are we just doomed to be dragged away by our karma? The master gives an incredibly practical solution: start paving your Bardo road right now while you are still alive. Study and understand the Bardo scriptures. Starting today, regularly bow to, make offerings to, and chant the name of Myoshu Buddha. Build an incredibly powerful, unbreakable connection with him. Because if your bond is deep enough, the moment you are about to slip toward hell in the Bardo state, he can catch you in midair, pull you back, and securely drop you into the pure land or the heavenly realms. This is quite literally buying yourself the premium, ultimate policy of soul insurance ahead of time. Closing thoughts. This is incredibly profound, isn't it? The master leaves his disciples with a final, urgent reminder: none of us can guarantee we will live another 50 years. In a blink of an eye, a lifetime flashes past. This goldmine of wisdom shared by the Buddha Activity Association of Australia isn't just abstract Buddhist theory, it is a countdown timer for our lives. So I want to leave this question with you. When those critical 49 days truly arrive, and everything around you becomes surreal and chaotic, will you have enough mental stability to recognize the Buddha who is waiting for you at first glance? Or will you lose your way yet again, foolishly chasing after the wildflowers by the roadside? Hopefully, today's breakdown inspires you to start exploring and training your own spiritual focus. Until next time.